what does this Cold War spy, the spy who was selling things like nuclear secrets and continuity of government plans and getting people killed and covert operations, matter to cyber security? Everything. I like to call Robert Hanssen the Nostradamus of cybersecurity spying. This guy, years before the FBI was even computerized, when we were just thinking about it, was saying that spies will exploit these computer systems. There are no hackers. There are no hackers. There are only spies. Hacking is nothing more than the necessary evolution of espionage. Because spies are devious, spies are malicious, spies are technologically advanced, and they know how to target an individual, a company, or the individuals that make up that company. So let's think of some of the spies that are out there, some of the hackers, some of the things that we have to worry about in cybersecurity. And the first is the trusted insider. The trusted insider. Robert Hanssen is our poster boy for trusted insider. And maybe he's the 1A to, say, Edward Snowden's 1B. You know, whether you love him or hate him, Edward Snowden did take down the entire NSA. So that's a pretty good job as a trusted insider. Give you a little bit of background on the OPM hack. About 22.1, recent numbers, million identities stolen. That's people who worked for the government primarily, or who had background investigations conducted by the government. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of government people. That's a lot of people who could be blackmailed. That's a lot of people who now they know where they work and what they do. Greed, all those ways to recruit I just talked about. Ideology, you look at the background and realize, wow, they're from the Ukraine and we want to hack because the Ukraine wants to get in on this business and so we're going to recruit, right? Bad news, 1.1 million fingerprint records. Great if you want to get through biometrics. We put a lot of biometrics on doors we don't want people to get through. That goes back to that idea of everybody is part of security. And if I could tell you there's one thing in security that you will get one of the most bang for your buck, in addition to everything else you have to do, it's training your people, making sure that everybody is part of security. Here's our problem in security. Here's the huge problem in security. The bad guys are always leapfrogging the good guys. So more often than not, we're in this preventive mode, this reactive mode, this on our heels, trying to figure out what happened and fix it. We all have to be spy hunters out there conducting counterintelligence, not just looking for the hack or looking for the malware or trying to figure out how they're coming at us. We need to determine what's most important to us and how to protect it. And so we said, we're going to create a new division called the Information Assurance Section. Can anybody think, and here's where someone can answer, can anybody think what in 2001, information assurance means today? It's okay. Cybersecurity. We took the biggest spy in U.S. history and we put him in charge of cybersecurity for the FBI. You have to be very bold. Sometimes bold actions win cases like this.
What are some ways we as risk managers can identify people within our organizations that could be a threat?
Yes, so how can you identify this? Excellent question. So here's a quick capsule for how you can do it. The first thing you have to do is get your smartest people and get a whiteboard and figure out what information is most important to protect. What are you most worried about? Kind of classify them. What's your red level information? If it got out, it would cause huge reputational harm. It would cause huge damage as far as money. It could cause people to lose their identities, to have to start sending those letters that we all get about identity theft, right? Maybe it's PII, maybe it's client information, maybe it's customer information. What are the keys to your kingdom? Then you build your wall around it. So you've got that information, you know what it is. You've identified it. Identify, compartmentalize. Limit access to it. The more people who have access to information, it's like a secret. The more people who know a secret, the less chance you ever have of keeping it secret. The spy is in the place where they have access to the information that is going to do the most damage, and the wherewithal to sell that information to those who will pay them the most money and be able to use that information. Because that worst possible place for all of you is right in your own organization. So our jobs in risk management is to think about where that spy could be and the ways that we can protect against them.